Okay, and we are live again, Eugene. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. I have with me BWTM long lasting, reigning, undisputed Eastern European correspondent Eugene in the house. Eugene, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great, Ingram. How about you?
I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm going to say two words. Say less. I don't know if you know what that means. Say less. If you
A
don't know
lot of
what it
people
means,
would benefit from it.
well, actually, ironically, it was a poster of Anthony Joshua posted across the sports shops. Where there's a picture of him looking very mean and water over his face, and at the bottom of the poster says "Say less." Was before he fought Daniel Dubois. So yeah, I just thought you should know that.
Does the trend continue now that he lost? Does he say less?
I don't know. I don't know, but yes, ironic now he's saying say less. You know, the other day he was going to
Hmm.
put a chair across Dubois' face. What was your thoughts on the whole Dubois Joshua lead up and the fight itself?
A couple of things. First, AJ, he almost came out too cocky, too dismissive of Dubois.
Hmm.
He didn't give any respect, and
Hmm.
even when the alarm went off, when Dubois started landing on him good, not just here and there, but like he was outmatching him. Nothing really changed, right? There was no reconsideration, no readjustment,
Yeah,
except for you know trying to almost remembering Abel Sanchez throw more punches, right? It's
is that panic on the side of is that panic on the side of the trainer, or is that just whatever? Throw the dice. You know, I mean, you're losing
right,
anyway, so
right.
just throw the dice. I mean, I don't know. Some people are justifying their throw the dice statement. I can't justify it. There's no way, shape, or form could I justify throw the dice at no shape, at no point in time. I mean, what happened to game plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J? Remember, all these boxes have got all these game plans. You know,
Hmm.
is throw the dice one of the game plans? I don't know, but
Look, when round 10 rolls around and you've been having no success whatsoever, maybe roll the dice is a good advice.
yeah, but you know,
Because at that point it's almost like, well, we're losing anyways, we might as well try something, right? Um
absolutely.
at at the point that AJ was, that was just, how do I put it? The barrel turned out so shallow, they started digging into the wood chips so fast.
I watched two fights. I watched Lennox Lewis against Shannon Briggs, and I watched Lennox Lewis against Vitaly Klitschko. Two of the later fights in his career, and in both of those fights, he was in a crisis. Round one against against Shannon Briggs, and then again he was in trouble against Vitaly Klitschko. Oh, what happened? Is he gone? Oh, it's been one of these evenings. It's taken us an hour to set ourselves up because we couldn't get on via YouTube. And now we have this. I wonder what's happening here. Let's give Eugene a moment. Let's see. Oh, okay. We'll have to come back at this one. So we may have to come back and do this video because Eugene is disappeared for a moment. Let me just wait a moment and see what's going on with him.
Hello?
Yep, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Sorry. I don't know what happened there. Turn it back on.
Yeah, your camera went.
Yep. There we go.
So, are you okay there? So where were we
Yep.
talking? What were we talking? We were talking about something. Yeah, Lennox Lewis was in 2 crisis fights that I remembered off, apart from the Bruno fight. But later in his career, he had 2 fights: one against Briggs and one against Vitaly Klitschko. Both were dog fights. Both fights, the opponent brought Lewis into a fight he wouldn't usually fight, but he had to get through it. He had to get through a crisis, and then got through the other side. As for in the Vitaly fight, he just took his licks because he was not in the right shape for that fight. But for the Briggs fight, Briggs came out and he's known for knocking guys out in the first pound, Shannon Briggs. And Lennox had to tuck up tight and even fight with Shannon Briggs to keep him off. But he showed class to be able to come through that. Shannon punched himself out, and then Lennox was able to close the show with a right hand of his own. But it wasn't an easy fight. Joshua, anytime the fire, apart from the Klitschko fight, and that's where Klitschko actually left him alone, kind of like, I'll come for you in the later rounds, and Klitschko himself tired out and allowed Joshua to get back into the fight. Other than that fight, when there's been a crisis for Joshua, i.e. the Andy Ruiz fight, when he's brought, when somebody actually hurts him in a fight, he doesn't seem to recover to the point where he can win a fight. Again, we saw that when he fought Usyk. Usyk hurt him, and as soon as Usyk hurt him, he went back in the box. In the 2 fights, if you look at the fight, the first fight, Usyk he kind of moved forward on Usyk, and Usyk hit him with the left hand. He did the little dance, and he had to hold on to Usyk in about the 3rd round. Then as soon as he tried to engage with Usyk again like that, Usyk hurt him again. And even in the second fight where he was getting on top of Usyk, the next round Usyk came out and put it on him and almost stopped him. And then this fight now where Dubois brought the fight to Joshua, and he's a heavy puncher. Joshua couldn't respond. Whereas Lennox Lewis could get through those crises. So if you put Joshua in the situation when Lewis fought Vitaly Klitschko or Shannon Briggs, Joshua would have got knocked out in both of those fights. And that's the difference in class. Your thoughts?
Yeah. I remember you used to say that AG does not respond well when he's not on the front foot.
Yeah.
Well, he tried to be on the front foot against Dubois, and he didn't do all too well either.
If you're saying front foot, well, I'm not so sure if the front foot with your hands down by your sides and pulling out with your head straight back in the air, pulling out the kitchen straight back, it's not exactly helpful, is it? Good evening, ST. It's not exactly helpful, is it?
Well, no, but it's like I said at the beginning, it's almost like he gave no respect to Dubois, right? It was very one-track minded, that he was going for a quick knockout.
Well, I mean, I don't know where he was going with that quick knockout with hands down by his side. His hands were like down by his waist. You know, the thing is, what I think is that we're trying to fit a circle into a square of Joshua. People think because Joshua's got big muscles and he's got an intimidating look that he's these things that he's not. He's not a fighter. Joshua's not a fighter. Joshua's a boxer
Hmm.
puncher. He's not a fighter. He's not a guy that's gonna get down and get dirty and win a fight. I mean, he did it once against Klitschko, but again, Klitschko had him out on his feet in the 5th round, and then Klitschko let him off the hook. Do you
Yeah,
understand? He cannot fight. He cannot fight when he is confronted with somebody who's going to throw hands and be aggressive towards him, that can punch, and that's not going to let him off the hook, and he's got good hand speed. He seems to struggle with that. He seems to
right.
really struggle with that. Seems to really struggle with that. So I don't care how many rematches Anthony Joshua has. He's not beating anybody with those components: good chin, punching power, and willing to get on the inside and have a dogfight. Those 3 components. If you've got those 3 components, you beat Anthony Joshua. It seems.
That's fair. Yeah. And the only one that really didn't succeed is Ruiz, because, well, he essentially disqualified himself.
The first fight or the second fight? The second fight. Well, I think
The second.
that fight, the second fight, and the Charles Martin fight are 2 fights I think that were gimmies. I say this because with the Charles Martin fight, I think. Have you ever seen Charles Martin fight so bad? I haven't. He gets dropped so easily, and then he just falls over and doesn't bother to get up. And
Well,
he's been cracked. Go ahead.
the only thing that I would disagree with is that Charles Martin only captured the title because Glasgow blew the knee in the ring. We don't really
Okay.
know what would be the championship level Charles Martin fight, right?
Good question. Good point. Good point. But the Glasgow looked like he could win that fight.
It didn't look
This,
that bad that he would absolutely lose it.
yeah, but this
It
is. Are
wasn't
we
decided at that point yet.
we're talking about that same Glasgow that fought Malik Scott, right? And
Yeah,
Malik Scott, I thought, beat him.
right.
Remember that night? Well, you forgot the night.
Kind of forgot it more than remember. There are a lot of
Anyway,
forgettable fights in boxing.
yeah, that was one of them. But anyway, let's move on. So this thing about Joshua having a rematch against Dubois, why? I thought rematches were on the basis of you like coming close in a fight. It was a difficult fight. It was a difficult fight, but it was a controversial fight. It was close. Guy nicked it by a point. The referee stopped the fight controversially. What is the basis for Joshua having the rematch?
I
Can you
mean,
give me one arguing point?
well, that logic doesn't track
Okay.
because if you were to go by how close the fight was, then there should not be a
A
rematch
rematch.
between Usyk and Fury. There should not be.
Well, maybe no. That went to 12 rounds, and Fury didn't get
Yeah, but it
smashed again.
shouldn't have. So
Yeah,
it's
that's the first time.
even
Yeah,
it shouldn't even less, of an
yeah, but
argument for one.
there's the controversy there. There's the controversy because
Yeah, but
the
into the
argument.
other side, it's not like if Fury survived and won, then there would be a controversy. But this way, it's like he won twice.
Yeah, but this fight with there's a see the rematch is warranted if there's a controversy. Now the controversy is the referee in the first fight should he have stopped the fight with Fury when he was out on his feet. He looked like he should have been stopped. And if Usyk was in that position, they would have stopped the fight. Surely, if Usyk was wobbling around the ring the way Fury was wobbling around the ring, they would have stopped the fight immediately so they could sell Joshua versus Fury because that's what they want the fight by hook or by crook. So
Yeah,
the premise of a rematch could say, well, okay, the referee was dodgy in this fight. Let's run it back. It went 12 rounds. Let's run it back. But the Joshua fight, there is no premise because the referee wasn't dodgy. If anything, he should have stopped the fight earlier.
right.
You understand? So that's the
Well,
logic I was bringing with that.
realistically, I would say just follow the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like how their business is too big to fail. Well, AJ is too big to fail too.
There's a lot of investment.
Looks like I lost Ingram. Have you disconnected? All right. AJ couldn't find in the back foot, leaning back much more instead of staying strong.
And what happened to the camera there? Anyway, sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
It's one of those nights. So if you're putting a Fury versus Joshua fight, the thing is, with Joshua, with Fury, he can go forward and he can put punches together and make an attack going forward against Joshua. You think Fury should win that fight? Your thoughts?
It depends how much of Fury is left, though.
That's true.
Because I'm very curious to see. Yeah, well, to be honest, I haven't seen anything different from AJ that we haven't seen before. It's not like he came out in any other, like we've seen something that we haven't seen before, right?
That's what I was saying about Joshua, like the whole square and circle thing. If Joshua was just said, right, okay, this guy is not a brawler, because Joshua's not a brawler. He's got the body and physique of a brawler, but he's a boxer. He's a boxer puncher. And if we say that Joshua's a boxer puncher, he wouldn't be putting himself in positions as a brawler or trying to fight like a Mexican or whatever Mexican style, because he brought Robert Garcia in. He'd just be a pure boxer because he's a boxer puncher. He's not a slugger. And anytime he's tried to slug, he's got himself in trouble. As you saw against Dubois, as you see against when he fought Dillian White, when he try to go blow for blow, there's problems. But when he boxes, he's okay.
Right. Yeah.
It's like I tell you what Joshua's like. Joshua's got a similar makeup to Vladimir Klitschko.
Oh yeah, they've been compared since forever.
Because they both have questionable durability. And I think he had Klitschko questionable stamina as well. But when he managed to change his style to not throwing all them punches, limiting his punches, taking the uppercut away, straight punches, never throw more than 3 punches, and make sure when you are throwing punches, they're thrown to connect.
Yeah.
And
the recovery is non-existent.
There you go. So when these guys get clipped, there's no recovery for these guys. So that's why Stewart gave Klitschko that defensive mold, and when Klitschko's throwing punches, there's 1, 2, 3 punches. That's it. And Joshua got caught in between trying to be Klitschko, trying to be Lennox Lewis, and trying to be some sort of Mexican. I don't know. But I think he's had styles. He's had an issue with styles. He's got a mixture of styles, and if he just focused on one style, he'd probably be more effective. Keep it simple. Like when people are trying to make AJ be this guy who demolishes people, that's not his style. That's not his style. His style is to box, use the jab, line you up for the right hand, take your time, pick shots. He's a thinker. AJ's not at the highest level. He's not that dude. He's not that dude. He may start his career like that, being a raw puncher, but he's not that dude. So AJ up to this day has not found his style.
Yeah, and
he's confused.
I'm afraid there's not that much time left, so
there isn't. There's no rebuild either. Forget rebuild. There's no. Rebuild.
What you see is what you get. Yeah.
If he retired now, I wouldn't be surprised.
It wouldn't be the worst decision, to be honest.
Okay, you tell me about this one. What about the lifetime contract? Do you remember the lifetime contract with Matchroom? He signed a lifetime contract.
I assume it ends as soon as he. It's only, how do I explain it? It's only viable for as long as he continues to fight. Like if he were to retire, that would be.
Yeah, but in his contract, does it say when he's allowed to retire? There may be let's say you cannot retire until 2026 or 2027, or you have to have made this amount of money before you retire. If it's a lifetime contract, they own you basically. You're a slave. How many fighters do you know who've got lifetime contracts?
None.
Right. Back in the day.
I doubt he would sign something that restrictive, but it seems to me that he just cannot re-sign with anybody else. For as
Yeah, he
long as he's
signed.
boxing, he will be with
Yeah, he
Matchroom.
signed, but he signed that contract, did he? He signed a lifetime contract, which they changed the name of it to something else. But yeah, it's a lifetime contract, which means they own all his intellectual property. He's owned.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. See, he says Al Heyman fighters have career contracts, but not lifetime. It is a difference. See, I suspect with an Al Heyman contract, and I suspect is you cannot find any other network but the network that is associated with Al Heyman. I suspect. So that would explain certain fighters not fighting for long periods of time. Like they can only fight on certain TV dates. Like for example, if the contract side the Premier PBC and PBC was associated with Amazon, you could only fight on Amazon TV, for example. Like
mhm.
so, or if there was an exclusive contract where or some sort of deal where you could a fight was co-promoted, then you could fight on that card. But other than that, you cannot fight on rivals cards and stuff like that. Maybe that's a contract. See some of these guys that you don't see them fighting for a while. Says, I'd love a lifetime contract of 100 million a year. Haha, says ST. Yeah, wouldn't we all, eh? Depends on what comes with a lifetime contract. So
Right.
imagine Joshua fighting and he doesn't want to fight anymore. His heart's not in it anymore.
Well, that's essentially Wilder's situation by now, right?
Yeah, as they're saying, he's got one more fight on the Riyadh season to honor, which I suspect will be Deontay Wilder.
That's an interesting one, but almost don't want to see Wilder fight again.
Yeah, but who's the cause of that? Another poor trainer.
Yeah.
Malik Scott was questioned by Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora come up to him and said to him, you're the one who's been teaching Malik or allow Malik and Deontay to be doing the twirl. He says, no, I didn't allow that. He says, okay, let me show you this video. She showed him the video of Malik in the corner with Deontay doing the twirl and hitting the pad. And he just turned. He didn't even want to talk about it. So I'm like, it's not good. It's not good. AJ,
No.
I don't think he does. I don't think he does. I don't think he does. For AJ to obliterate Wilder, he's got to come forward, and for him to come forward, if he boxes Wilder, he might beat Wilder. If he boxes Wilder, he might beat Wilder. But if he comes out like he did against Dubois, get flattened. Remember, I've yet to see AJ beat a guy that brings heat to him and can punch and has got the will to win. I've yet to see him win a fight like that.
Wilder doesn't have a will to win the fight, and he does not bring heat anymore. It's almost like he lost that ability to crank it up. So it's a toss up. I hear you, but to me it's not decided. It's almost like who shows up, that's kind of the question.
Okay, the Wilder that fought Stavern, second fight. The
Wilder
he
wins.
That fought Dominic Brazil. He wins.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the Wilder who fought
Zhang or Parker?
Zhang or Parker, nope. He's not winning anything. He needs a freebie. He needs another. What's the Finnish guy? Helenius.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs somebody to just start walking forward straight, walk onto
Yeah, but
something.
AJ's more likely to walk onto something against Wilder.
He is, but he's also not Hellenes. So at that point, it's who shows up.
Yeah, but he's not as he's definitely AJ's not as dynamic as Joseph Parker. No chance. He hasn't got
He's
the
not.
fast hands. He's not got the movement like Joseph Parker. That's why I said Joseph Parker would beat Wilder, because he would get inside and cause all sorts of problems. AJ won't. AJ will just stand flat-footed right in front of Wilder, with his chin up in the air.
Yeah.
And if Wilder pushes him, if Wilder comes out at AJ, if he just comes out and throws bombs, what's AJ gonna do?
That's a
The only
big
way
if.
AJ,
He hasn't done it against Parker. He hasn't done it against Zhang. Zhang.
Zhang's got one punch knockout power, and Parker's brings speed. What does AJ bring? AJ may bring some power, but he may be frightened before he even gets in the ring.
Oh, that's exactly why I'm saying it depends who shows up.
Yeah, I guess so. I was thinking about this the other day. Yeah, remember when AJ was Lord of the Manor? He was the landlord. Yeah. Now he's got knocked out by a dude that got beat by Joe Joyce. He's been knocked out for the first time in his career by Dubois, who he called a little boy. The little boy's thumped him up. Street cred, your own professional careers in tatters. How does he mentally come back from that?
I'm not quite sure because it's almost like it depends if he believes that is actually where he's at, or he believes that's some kind of a off night. Because here's the thing: if you were to believe that's where he's actually at, then they wouldn't initiate the immediate rematch, would they?
Yeah, but the immediate rematch was more, I think, Eddie talking rather than it being what it is.
Well, we're gonna find out because honestly, I don't know.
Okay. What's this talk about Usyk and Fury? I understand that they both had some sort of back and forth going on.
You know what? Another promotion for a second fight?
Possibly, yeah.
I honestly do not care. No, it's just it has been like that before the first one. It is going on before the second one. We should be used to it by now.
How do you think he does against? How do you think Usyk does against Fury in the rematch?
About the same, maybe even better. Meaning maybe stops him.
And I think Fury had an answer to that left hand. He didn't have an answer to it.
He didn't, and I think Fury's deterioration is faster than Usyk's. Like, I don't think Usyk is in his prime, the one who showed up to the fight, but I think Fury's going to be worse off.
Okay.
Especially after a battering.
Yeah, he can't walk around saying that he's unbeatable, because he is beatable now. He can't say that he's a middleweight who can't punch, because he's a middleweight that can punch. And like Pinway almost stopped him. So all the things he was saying in the first fight, he says now he has to stop Usyk. And I think if he decides to come forward and stop Usyk, he gets stopped, because I think he walks onto one.
Yeah, he's not in a good situation, and I think Usyk has seen enough of him that he's not going to be as surprised the second time.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's what I'm thinking. Your thoughts on this fight between Bivol and Beterbiev?
Oh, that's a good one. Here are the two things that I'm thinking. Bivol is kind of he fights only as good as his opponent. So whenever he's not fighting a steep competition, he's kind of a stinker. He's not interesting to watch, right?
That last fight looked interesting though.
Which one was that?
The one where he knocked the guy out in a couple of few rounds.
Oh, I didn't watch that one. What one's that?
Yeah, he blew the guy out. Yeah, he blew the guy out in 2-3 rounds, knocked him out, stopped him.
I kind of gave up on watching him after a while.
You're funny, dude. You're a funny dude.
I know what the fight that I want to see, and all the rest of them, mandatory, whatever.
You just want to see him fight Beterbiev.
Yeah, I didn't see him fight anyone past London Arthur, and there's another one. That's crazy.
Yeah, he fought him. He beat him up. He beat him up bad. Stopped him. He showed hands.
Malik Zinad. Yeah, I didn't even know the fight happened.
Yeah, it happened. It was on, I think it was Riyadh season. I think he stopped him early. I don't know who the main event was. I can't remember who the main event was.
Right.
He beat the boy up bad.
So, Beterbiev, it seems, from my observations of him and his, like, him talking about his opponents and in general, he doesn't like anyone who moves.
Yeah, I think so.
Every time he remembers his fight against Usyk in amateurs,
yes,
he says, "Oh, he's no good, but he breathes well, so he got good stamina, right? And he runs a lot." That's a complaint about anyone who's like, "Oh, he's not standing in front of me, and he doesn't gas out in, like, I don't know, 3 rounds," type of thing.
So my thought process of this is that I just think that Bivol is Beterbiev's kryptonite. I just think he's going to throw hands as Beterbiev tries to throw shots. I think Bivol will catch him in between. I think he'll keep him turning, and he'll hit him with shots he won't see. I think Beterbiev will walk into one because he's not great defensively. His defense is his attack, which is his face, to be honest with you. So I think he stops. I think Bivol stops him or points decision.
He has all the chances to do so, because if you think about it, when Gvozdyk fought Beterbiev, his main mistake was coming forward and meeting him head on. Where this is the territory that Beterbiev thrives on. Like, it's very hard to, chop down the lumberjack, essentially, right? It's Callum Johnson had a bit of a success with that, but he didn't last long. Like,
because he wasn't fit enough. He'd only done 1 round in a year, so.
So Bivol, if he sticks to his guns, moves a lot, boxes, tires out Beterbiev, he stands a very good chance. He's a favorite in my eyes to win that one.
Same here, I think so too. Did you see the return of Sir Vlad Tsarenko?
I've seen him on your channel, but are you talking about him fighting again? Because I haven't seen that one.
He's got a comeback. I think he fought on October the 2nd.
Oh, did he?
Friday
no,
night,
I have not.
Yeah, he fought.
I completely missed that.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about it, but he's out in America.
No, good, because it's a huge gap. He hasn't fought since 2021, and only came back this year, right? So that's a bit.
So he fights again, I think, on October the 21st, I think, or 19th of October, 21st, something like that.
Or every 3 weeks.
I think so, on a big fight. I think it's a big fight coming up, yeah. I think so.
Oh, good luck to him then.
I also saw,
do you know against whom?
I don't know yet. The guy he fought against, I didn't know his name either. Let me check this out. Let's go and quickly Google this.
Brandon Karnak, and he's in a high visibility vest in his picture. I think he's an Amazon delivery driver. Something.
How can you say that? How can you say that about your people, man? That's your brother, man. How can you say that about your brother, man?
Moving along. everyone needs to stay busy. Okay, we know the game. We just look the other way.
Vlad actually looks like Dolph Lundgren in this picture, to be honest. Yeah, Brandon McCormick. I think what disturbs me about Vlad's record, I hate to say, is if you look at his record, and I really hate to pull up it. I mean, okay, so first duty for okay, let's say the last three opponents, right? So Brandon McCormick had 3 fights. He had 7 fights, won 7 fights. He lost 5 and and drew 3. Then Keith Barr, I think he's a warm-up fights, to be fair, because he's fought Keith Barr, won him via TKO. So he fought in 2024 once. He's fought 3 times in 2024. He fought 3 times in 2024. He fought in Texas.
Yeah, the 2024 has a 100% failure rate.
So Dion Ronnie Hale, the guy had 5 wins, 17 losses, and 1 draw. Then next fight was Keith Barr, 21 wins, 15 losses, and 1 draw. And then now the last guy's for Brandon Carmack had 7 wins, 5 losses, and 3 draws. I mean, the guy with the best
let's be honest.
Yeah, let's
be honest with the
Yeah.
What's happening here is he hasn't fought for 3 years.
Yeah.
So those are just getting ready. You said the big fight is coming up in a couple of weeks. I think that's just the preparation for that.
Yeah, I'd like to know what he looks like in them fights.
Right, because that doesn't tell me anything. If you fight a guy who is 5'17", doesn't tell me anything.
It doesn't tell you anything. So he's been spoon-fed opponents. I don't know if that's because he's low in confidence. I don't know if he's just bringing him back. But the good thing is he's fighting regularly. That's the good thing.
Well, yes, that's a good trend. Let's keep watching.
Just keep watching that. Is there anything else that comes to your mind at the moment? Thoughts? Fights?
Just in general,
yes.
I have an idea. I'm kind of interested in where Dubois is.
Dubois?
Yeah, because a couple of years ago, he was the guy who got put on the floor a couple of times by a cruiserweight in what was the name of that South African guy?
Kevin Lerner. Lorena, yes.
Yes. Then he got knocked out with a jab by Usyk, which was not a good look. A lot of people called him quitter over that. I don't think he was a quitter. I think he was just tired and kind of demoralized after decision was overruled. I think if that did not happen, that controversial knockdown, he would have fared a lot better. The fight would have gone on for a lot longer. I think it just took the wind out of his sails.
Yep.
But so far, it's interesting how he kind of been shutting up all his doubters. Like
Don Charles is a very good trainer. Remember Don? I've known Don for years, and I always knew Don got a good fighter. That's why I thought Don and Dubois would do very well together. I actually would like to see Dubois and Usyk fight again.
I would, but I don't think the difference would be like the outcome would be that different. I think it would be not as disappointing as the first one. But what I think we can kind of learn from this whole sequence of events and recent fights is that fighters don't change that fast. AJ did not rebuild himself just because he knocked out what was the MMA guy? Ngannou. Yeah, and the guy who fought Fury. What was the Swedish guy? 6'5".
Otto Wallin,
right. Everyone been on a hype train because he knocked out a few, lower tier opposition, so therefore he's on the run. But
Yeah, but all those guys he fought were not guys like that came with an intensity or youth to cause damage and can punch. None of those guys you're talking about there. I mean, none of them came with that sort of intensity.
that's fair. Yeah. But also, to me, it seems like Dubois is a very shaky character. Like when things are rolling his way, he's very good. But
I would,
it's
I would,
almost
I
like
would,
he's very easy
I
to
would
shake
question
off his
that.
base.
I would question that because if he was going to shake off his base, when Joshua caught him with a big right hand, he caught him with a big right hand, it rocked him. That point there, he had a choice. He could have folded right then, but he didn't. Instead, he got hit with a shot, took the shot, composed himself, and then went on to knock Joshua out.
Yes, because he had success earlier.
It's a valid
You know,
point.
yeah, he wasn't. It wasn't like the decisive moment in the fight. It was just, you know, something came his way. He got angry and decided to come back right at it, and it paid off.
Your thoughts on Martin Bakole versus Zhang? I think Zhang
See,
could have put a left hand straight through for you personally. I think
Zhang is the kind of guy. He's the new who was the Cuban guy who disappeared?
Luis Ortiz.
Luis Ortiz. Yeah, he's the new guy who is old, can crack, and there's no benefit in fighting him.
But I think Bakole's going to fight him.
Yeah, well, that's too bad.
Why? What do you think is going to happen to him?
He's gonna get knocked out.
Thank you very much. What do you think of Dubois versus Joseph Parker?
That's a good one. I like Dubois right now, but that would be a good test because Joseph Parker has been steadily building himself. He hasn't been jumping too high.
Parker beats him. Movement, speed, and the ability for him to jump in and jump out, move to the sides, fast hands.
But
about 3 shots and be away. Parker.
Well, that's at least one win for Matchroom.
And the other guy, he should stay clear of his Ajit Kabayel.
Oh yeah.
I think Parker may fight him next.
You know what's funny? I've watched a YouTube video by Michael Hunter recently, where he was reviewing his fight. Not his fight. He was reviewing Usyk versus Fury. It was kind of a watch along, and I kind of realized he completely fell off the map.
He did. That was after Matchroom let go of him. That was after the Povetkin fight when he fought against Povetkin. He should have beaten Povetkin, guys.
Right. It's kind of sad that he's no longer in the mix because that's another guy
that's a guy that Turkey Usyk should be bringing back. But why?
Oh yeah.
Is Michael Hunter blacklisted himself? Why is he not getting him on with Turkey Usyk?
Didn't play the script.
What was the script then?
I don't know. But maybe he was not supposed to beat Bakole, for example. Because they've been building him up for a while, right? And then he beats Bakole. Bakole has to go on this reset type of situation. So they just start throwing him around.
Maybe. He fought Usnov. He beat Usnov. He beat quite a few good fighters, didn't he? He was on that little run.
Oh, no.
A few good fighters, Hunter.
Bashir has a good point. That's one of the guys that you should look out for. And that's probably that's the exact reason why we don't see him anymore.
Yeah, it's a shame. What? Just moving on. Moses Atama. What's your thoughts on Moses Atama?
Don't have any thoughts. I don't watch him.
Okay, Ben. What's his name? Ben Whitaker.
Nope. I've been away from boxing. It's
You haven't had a
so
chance to see those
far.
guys.
I can kind of tell you where this era of boxing will kind of wrap up.
Yes.
Because with AJ, Wilder, Usyk, and Fury being in their late 30s,
Yeah, they'll all be gone soon.
yeah. And who's next? There's Dubois, who's probably gonna stick around for a while
Dubois,
longer.
Dubois,
Caballero.
Parker, Caballero, Sanchez. What's his guy?
Wait.
J.L. Pataya. He'll move up to heavyweight. J.L. Pataya will move up to heavyweight.
Oh yeah, he was talking about it.
Yeah, you can see him moving to heavyweight. Okoli moving up to heavyweight. That's another one. Who else you got? You've got Wardley, Fabio Wardley, or this was Fraser Clark as well. Moses Talma. You got Torres, Richard Torres from America. I don't know where what's his name's gone. This guy, tall Nigerian, 6'5" or 6'6". I can see him that.
F.A. Jagba.
Ajagba. He's still around, I think. So some dudes are still around. Sorenko.
You know,
there's some dudes around.
most of the names you mentioned, they're kind of shorter at around 6'4". We could
Huey Fury.
Yeah, we could name it heavyweight shrinkflation.
No, you can call it the heavyweight division, and those other guys should be in super heavyweight division.
Yeah, but they tried it with Bridgerweight. It's a waste of time, especially when Usyk is undefeated, or undisputed.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah.
You know, what's the point in that, right? It's kind of like, well, he just fought the tallest, biggest guy in the heavyweight division, and he's like one of the shorter guys. So whatever.
Let me close off with this with you tonight. I was going to ask you a question. I totally lost what the question was now. Give me a minute. Would you be happy to see Usyk retire from the heavyweight division and try win a Bridgerweight title?
No.
Why?
Because he needs to retire, period. I don't want him to give any more credence to Bridgerweight. It's a useless division. As far as heavyweight goes, he has cleared it up. There's another one. There's a rematch happening. He can finish that up. You know, I think it's going to go the same way. He has cleared up the cruiserweight division. There's no way to go in between, right? There is no next step. He already covered before and after. So
what about Ajak Caballero versus Usyk?
I don't see it.
Jay Apataya versus Usyk.
That's an interesting one. And Frank Sanchez. That's the 2-1 that I've like, you know, kind of an interesting mix.
You saw what Ajak Caballero did to Frank Sanchez.
Yeah, he showed up with a blown ACL or whatever was the issue with him.
Yeah.
I mean, no excuses, you know, you should not be showing up with an injury to a fight, but, you know.
Exactly.
We know what he's capable of, and we saw nothing of that. So something was off that night.
Absolutely.
I don't see it. You know, and realistically, we already seen the best of Usyk. He's on the decline. What's the point of dragging it out? Just to see who beats him, because one of those guys will eventually
beat him. About 2 more guys you got in the mix: Andy Ruiz.
Yeah.
And Joe Miller.
Yeah, it's at this point it's literally like, well, let's wait it out to see how old he gets, how slow he gets, who can finally beat him, right? It's that we're past where, it peaked.
Yeah.
Right. So we got our questions answered. I think it's just a new era coming along.
And question, how good do you think Vlad Tsarenko could be? That's the final question on that. How good do you think Vlad Tsarenko could be?
That depends. And I think because we haven't seen much of him as a personality, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't really have something to fall back to, to go back by. I think if he sticks around with Bashir, he's gonna go a long way. I don't know whether he's gonna clean up the division, but he would capture a title for sure.
Okay. Heavyweight championship of the world?
Yeah, I think so.
Dubois
And
versus Tsarenko.
the next era of this era where the titles are going to be free for grabs is coming along pretty soon.
It is. Dubois versus Tsarenko.
Right now, Dubois.
Okay. All right. Eugene,
yeah, just the resume, all the experience.
What he's done so far. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
Nope. I think we covered it pretty well.
Okay. Despite our challenges earlier on, we got through it.
Where there's a will, there's a way, right?
There's a way. Absolutely. Eugene, as always, thank you so much. Next weekend, you know what's coming up. I've said I think Bivol's the best light heavyweight in the world. I think every person I've interviewed earlier on has gone on to become undisputed. Crawford did it. Well, no. Fury didn't quite do it. Fury had all the belts. But he had two different sort of eras. Crawford did it. Who else?
But to be fair, you interviewed both of them, so that's kind of, you hedged your bets,
That's true. That's true. Crawford, Usyk, Fury, Porter. Who's this guy? What's his name? Oh, let me see him. Even, what's his name now? Boots Ennis. He's champion.
Okay.
Who else could we say?
Berinchik just captured the title.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So we've still got some guys there in the old archives that I've got in archive room. So if Bivol goes on to become undisputed, it will be another one.
Yeah. Stavern. Well,
world champion.
Yep.
Thurman, world champion. Who else?
What was the shorter guy? Dubois?
Dubois, world champion. WBO.
Did you interview Prograis or not? I can't remember.
Didn't get a Prograis, no.
No. Oh well.
Yeah, so it's not bad. Not bad. There's one guy I wanted to check out. Check out one guy that I like look of. Abdullah Mason. Check him out. He looks a monster. Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason. Got my eye on that boy. He looks
all right.
He looks sweet. I'm talking about punched together very well. Combination. You know another guy who's gone missing? Cheney, heavyweight. American Cheney. He was a good fighter. I don't know what happened to him. These dudes, I don't know what's going on in the heavyweight division. Anyway,
yeah,
we'll catch up. Eugene, it's always been a pleasure talking with you, and we'll catch up soon.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Take care, buddy. All the best. Thank you all for watching BWTM Sports. We're out. Have a good night.